Hello Pokefans and welcome back to my channel. Brasscoin here with a little bit different style of video. Today I'm going to do an idea that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. Aside from my many Let's Play videos that I've been doing on my channel, I wanted to dive into more Pokemon fandom related videos, such as what I would want my team to look like if I was selected to be a gym leader in a given region. Things I had to consider when making my decision was type preference, frequency that type of gym is used, diversity of Pokemon to choose from, and the generation or region in which my gym would be in, and the many different types of gym gimmicks that I would use inside that gym. Of the 18 different types of Pokemon, the 3 types that stood out to me the most and identify with me the most are the Ghost type, the Dark type, and the Poison type. Those ones tend to attract my eyes the most. It was easy to narrow it down to 3 based on my own preferences. Next, I had to consider the frequency in which a gym that specializes in those specific types of Pokemon appear in the main series games. The type that appears the least is the Dark type gym, gaining only 1 entry in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, with peers of Spikemuth. Later his sister Marnie decides to take his place among the gym leader titles, but in all other instances in which Dark types have been used, they've either been an Elite Four member or dual type technicalities. Tying with the Dark type gym in frequency is the Balanced Team User gym. I call it a Balanced Team User because they use a variety of different Pokemon, not one specific type. This is normally a champion level occurrence, but it does happen one time in a gym. However, it's after you already have beaten the champion in Pokemon Gold and Silver. That gym leader is Gary and has been a champion before, and he uses a similar team to he did while he was a champion. This is in the Kanto portion of Gold and Silver. Next up is a 4-way tie for gyms that appear only twice throughout the main series games, those types being Steel type with Jasmine and Byron, Ground type with Giovanni and Clay, Fairy type with Valerie and Opal, along with Bede, who later replaces Opal in the middle of Pokemon Sword and Shield, as well as Poison type with Roxy and Koga. Also, Janine is in there, but only appears as Koga's replacement in the Kanto section of Pokemon Gold and Silver. Next up on my list of considerations is type diversity, or how many species of Pokemon there are for me to choose from each type. Dark type Pokemon offered a selection of 66 species of Pokemon, while the Ghost type only offered a selection of 59 Pokemon. Poison and Ground types actually tied for first place, offering me a selection of 69 species of Pokemon to choose from, so they by far among these have the biggest diversity, the most amount of Pokemon to choose from that are either single typed or dual typed, or have a Alolan or Galarian form type variation, increasing their numbers. My final consideration for gym leader type was choosing what region or generation I would like to host my gym in. If I was to choose the Dark type gym, I would not be able to choose Generation 8 and the Galar region, as it already has a Dark type gym therein. I really think it would be uncool to dethrone a gym leader of the same type. For the same reasons, however, if I was to choose a Poison type gym, I would be excluded from Generation 1 or the Kanto region, and the Generation 5 or the Unova region because of Roxy, as operating in the Galar region offers me the most selection of Pokemon and allows me to choose 2 of my favorite Pokemon. I would choose to be a Poison type gym leader in the Galar region. As for my gym's gimmick, or the idea that separates it or sets it apart from gyms that share its same type, I'm going to be taking a little bit of creative license from the anime, way back to the Indigo League, where I first started watching Pokemon. In a certain episode of the Indigo League, Ash battles Misty for the Cascade badge. In the show, he battles Misty in a swimming pool-like arena. That obviously gives the water Pokemon that Misty uses a huge arena advantage, but also gives Ash's team a huge hazard. During the course of Ash's battle with Misty, Misty's Staryu is using a bunch of water gun techniques against Ash's Butterfree. Butterfree kind of gets hit by him and just shrugs him off, not too big of a deal. However, Misty's Staryu tackles Butterfree and it falls into the pool of water, getting its wings completely soaked and making it lose its ability to fly. Ash then has to recall the Pokemon as it can no longer battle. I think that is a huge step in the right direction for gyms to utilize area or arena battlefields to their team's advantage. The games do not do that enough, so for my gym, I am going to use a battlefield or arena advantage to help my team perform the best. Much like Opal uses a gimmick in her gym that either gives a player a bonus upon answering questions correctly, or gives them a penalty for answering questions or quizzes incorrectly. My gym will penalize Pokemon that are not of the poison type for being in a arena that is filled with poison. My gym would be filled with poisonous bogs and gases that would allow poison Pokemon to thrive while penalizing the Pokemon not of the poison typing for being there. It will feature a step-based poison damage system, much like the games had prior to Generation 5 or the Unova region. In those games, if your Pokemon was poisoned inside a battle, it retained that status outside of the battle and took penalized damage per step. For each step you took, it took 1 point of health damage. So if you were 100 steps away from a Pokemon Center, you took 100 points of damage on your way to the Pokemon Center to heal it of that poison unless you used an antidote. However, because my gym is filled with poisonous gases, an antidote will do no good. Your Pokemon are not actually poisoned, but they do still take 1 point of health damage per step you take inside the gym. Upon entering a battle, the poison damage will not be calculated as poison because they're not poisoned, unless they're hit with a move that does poison them. After being poisoned inside battle, they will retain that poison throughout the duration of the gym or until they return to a Pokemon Center to heal or use an antidote to cure themselves of the poison that they legitimately have. However, they will still take that 1 point damage per step inside the gym overworld. My gym would feature trainers that wore gas masks as a part of their uniform to protect themselves from the toxin they're in, as they would be spending a lot of time in that element. They don't want to be exposed to poisonous gases, that's kind of harmful for the brain. Plus, it would make them look insanely intimidating and really wicked cool. There would be 6 trainers, with all of them being optional. However, the object is to beat all of the trainers for a straight shot to me, or to get to me in the fewest amount of steps possible by taking the maze throughout the gym to get to me. My trainers would all have 2 Pokemon consisting of various combinations and evolutions of the Pokemon that my team consists of, plus 1 random Pokemon that I don't use in my gym because of variety and I want to give some spice to it. If they only have the same Pokemon I do, that would be extremely lame. After all, there are 69 species to choose from. However, I want them to kind of set up a this is what you're looking at type of vibe. Like, the gym leader is going to be using these Pokemon but stronger, but here's this other one just to kind of throw you off a little bit. Now, for the fun part, I get to introduce my team that I'm going to be using in my gym. First off, I would lead with a Salazzle with the corrosion ability. I want to be able to poison any steel type that my opponent might think of bringing because they know I'm a poison type gym leader. That gets rid of one of the advantages of bringing a steel type to the fight, is steel type can't be poisoned unless you have the corrosion ability. This takes care of that. I would use the moves Nasty Plot for a dark type user move to be super effective against a psychic type Pokemon to have psychic coverage. Next up would be Flamethrower because it is a fire poison type Pokemon after all. It would make no sense to not use a fire type move. Next up is Poison Gas for the same reasons of fire type moves. It's a poison Pokemon, it needs to be able to poison things. Next up is Dragon Pulse because I like dragon type moves and it's a really strong move. It can learn it and yeah, I think that's good enough reason. Next, I would use Gengar, because Gengar is my favorite first generation Pokemon. If you've seen any of my Pokemon Go videos that I may or may not have posted, I'm usually wearing a Gengar hat. I like Gengar a lot. So, I would use Gengar with the Cursed Body ability, mainly because I think that's like one of the only abilities you can get with it that actually makes sense, because they nerfed it and they took away Levitate, which made it immune to ground type moves, which I think was a terrible, terrible mistake, and Game Freak should fix that. That being said, the moves I would use are Shadow Ball for Psychic type coverage, use that Ghost type move to kill the Psychic type Pokemon before they kill me. Next, I would have it learn Focus Blast. Once again, this is going to help against the Dark type moves that are super effective against my Ghost type Pokemon. Want to kill those Dark type Pokemon and have Dark type coverage. Sludge Wave, because obviously it's a poison type Pokemon and needs to be able to poison things and do that poison damage, as well as Dazzling Gleam. I want to have Dragon type coverage as well. I feel like that would be a very good idea to have for a poison type team. Next up, I would use a Dragalge with the Adaptability ability. What this ability does is increases the multiplier effect of stab moves. Stab moves being the same type attack bonus move. So if you have a poison type and you use a poison type move, it becomes a same type attack bonus. And the multiplier for that is normally 1.5. However, with the adaptability ability, that is increased to a 2 times multiplier. My Dragalge would have the moves Sludge Wave and Draco Meteor, those 2 moves giving it the stab type advantage, as well as Toxic Spikes to set up Toxic Spikes. Want to be able to poison my opponent's team members upon entry into the battlefield. The last and final move that my Dragalge will have is going to be Hydro Pump. I want to be able to have coverage against those nasty ground type super effective Pokemon. So Hydro Pump it is. Hydro Pump being a 5 PP move that does an immense amount of damage. I don't get the stab bonus, however, but it covers that ground type pretty nicely. Next up is one of my all-time favorite Pokemons, and the reason why I had to choose a generation after Generation 6. I wanted to have Toxapex on my team. Toxapex with the regeneration ability. I think this ability is a huge advantage to the poison type user's team. This ability allows a Pokemon to regenerate 1/3 of their entire hit point pool upon switching out of battle and then back into battle. If you combine that with another Pokemon that has that same ability, it is virtually unstoppable. It is a huge, huge advantage to have, especially if those 2 Pokemon can both learn the moves Protect, or in Toxapex's case, the Baneful Bunker move, which poisons any type of physical move that attacks it while it is using a Protect-like move. So not only do you get protected from any damage, they get poisoned if they make contact. This not only helps with keeping your Pokemon happy and healthy, but it also has a longevity effect to it. If you can continuously switch this Pokemon out, you can essentially run your team forever as long as they don't have super effective moves to stop you. You can heal your Pokemon, you can protect your Pokemon, and you can just wait out and ride their poison until it kills them without even sending off an attack. It's an amazing strategy, but one that I think as a gym leader would be pretty OP for the player to handle. So obviously there would be programming in effect to not just utilize this. However, in PvP duels with my friends, this is the tactic I would use, the poison type stall tactic. The other moves that my Toxapex would consist of is Scald for that burning water effect. Want to have more ground coverage, want to have the possibility of causing burn damage in the event that they're not poisoned, because if they're burned, their attacks are half damage, so that's extremely, extremely useful. Next up, I would have Recover, because I already have Baneful Bunker for Protect, so why not just add a move that recovers HP? I think that's amazing. And possibly Toxic Spikes. It depends on what I'm feeling. I think that since it only has 4 moves anyways, I would use it for a Toxic Spike setup, just in case my Dragalge or another Pokemon didn't manage to get that move off. Next up on my team would be a Galarian Slowbro. As I don't currently know what the Galarian Slowking is going to look like, what its typing is going to be, and how versatile it's going to be, it has not yet earned a slot on my team, but Galarian Slowbro absolutely has. While Toxapex has the ability to set up poison really, really well and take a lot of damage, Slowbro is an HP tank, it takes a lot of damage, and it's a pretty sturdy Pokemon, not gonna lie. But with its ability to regenerate upon switching out, that sets it up for a potentially huge HP stalling tactic. But Galarian Slowbro also has a huge potential to deal a lot of damage. Galarian Slowbro gets a move called Shell Sidearm, which has the ability to do either physical or special damage depending on what type would be most effective. It's also a poison type move, so it would get the stab effect too, so it's just win-win-win. I would also be able to use Psychic for poison coverage, Shadow Ball for psychic coverage, and Surf for ground coverage. My final team member is another Pokemon that I can only get in the Galar region. That is going to be Toxtricity. This one would also be my Gigantamax Pokemon. I would go with the amped up form with the Punk Rock ability for its many applications. I want to have the ability that boosts sound-based damage, which are normally normal type moves, so they're pretty non-super effective. They aren't super effective against anything, but they're not blocked by anything really, except for Ghost type. Like, it doesn't affect Ghost type at all, but my team has enough coverage to deal with that. It's not very effective against Dragon type. That's okay. And it's not very effective against Fighting type. That's also okay. I got measures in place to ensure that those bases are covered. However, this normal type move ensures damage of some kind in most situations in the event that they can't be poisoned. It is extremely weak, however, in most instances. That is why it has the bonus of increasing the damage output of these types of moves. It's also going to be able to know Overdrive, Boom Burst, Fire Punch, and Sludge Wave. For the electric type, the sound-based move, a fire type coverage for steel type Pokemon, just in case, and of course, it needs to have a poison type move. I feel that this selection covers a great variety of Pokemon types while incorporating a few different possible strategies into the battle. Poisoning everything, waiting it out, just protecting and healing my Pokemon until they struggle themselves to death. I don't know. It just has a lot of potential to snuff out even the toughest of trainers, but allow a few to pass on to the Challengers Cup to take on that champion. It provides a tough challenge for most, while not allowing a Psychic type user to wipe the floor with my face. If my gym was to be placed in the Galar region, that would also mean that I would need to be replacing one of the Galar gym leaders that's currently on the throne. The 3 cities that come to mind to replace are the Turffield City Gym, the Spikemuth City Gym, and the Hammerlock City Gym. If I was to take over the Turffield City Gym, it would be because my gym was absorbing all of the toxins in the air, allowing Turffield to be nice and pure, a good environment for grass type and Pokemon of all types to grow and thrive in. If I was to choose the Hammerlock City Gym, it would be because sequentially, that is where the current 8th gym leader, the strongest of the gym leaders, is residing. Lastly, if I chose the Spikemuth Gym, it would be because dark type Pokemon and poison type Pokemon are portrayed similarly in the games and anime already. And as a result, the grungy city environment that Spikemuth consists of would fit perfectly for a poison type gym as well. It's a dirty city. It's off by itself. However, it also doesn't have a power spot to evolve your Pokemon into a Dynamax Pokemon, or however the heck that works. But that could be rectified. You could place a power spot there and nobody would be any the wiser if the game was like that already. So I don't know why it doesn't have a power spot anyways, because Pierce just doesn't like using them in the first place. So it fits for him, but it wouldn't fit for me. Ultimately, I would have to choose to replace the Hammerlock City gym. As mentioned earlier, Spikemuth is currently the only dark type gym ever, and I couldn't take that away from the dark type. Even though it would allow me to use the dark type, I feel like poison works best for me, so I would like to keep that one as the dark type gym. Placing the gym in Turffield has its own problems. It just doesn't fit as well as I would like sequentially, and it would be tough to orient to the last gym you face. It's the first gym currently. That means it has to have some level of ease to it, and I couldn't have my full team by any means. I couldn't have my full team leveled up, so my team just wouldn't work in that spot unless we rearrange the entire game. That means Hammerlock is in the best position for me to take over as a gym leader. I would choose Hammerlock because of the power plant residing beneath it, producing toxins, allowing my Pokemon to thrive. It makes sense that way. Also, I really hate Rayhan. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I don't care to learn how to say his name right, but if it is, cool, let me know in the comments below. But I hate this gym leader. I think he is a horrible, horrible gym leader. I think he's the worst gym leader in the history of the games, and that is placing him. Yes, I am placing him below Bugsy and Viola and Brock. At least they have an excuse. Bugsy's the second gym leader in Johto, Brock's the first one in Kanto, Viola's a bug-type user in general, Bugsy's a bug-type user. They're just weak Pokemon in general, but at least they have a strategy. However, their placement in the games, sequentially, makes them and forces them to be the weakest of all gym leaders because they're just so early on. Bug-type Pokemon are weak naturally, but they can have good strategies later on if you utilize the bug poison type, the bug flying type, whatever. Just fully evolve them, they can be good, versatile Pokemon. Rayhan just doesn't have a strategy, or rather he has too many strategies and doesn't pick between the two. He utilizes Sandstorm pretty decently, is a dragon type user, and he is incredibly weak. Also, one other reason that came into effect after the gym battle and later on in the story during the Champion Cup when you get completely interrupted by Chairman Rose, assuming we're going to be following the same story, I realized that Eternatus, or Eternatus, the legendary end-all be-all, is a dragon-type poison Pokemon that spawns on top of the Hammerlock gym. It's freaking fabulously perfect. It's just so poetically beautiful to have the final boss be a dragon-type, poison-type Pokemon appearing on my poison-type gym in the final gym area. It's just too poetic. So for those reasons, I would choose Hammerlock City as my gym. And that is what my Pokemon gym and my Pokemon team would look like, and the location and region in which I would place them in. If you like this video and think I should do more like it, please leave a like and a subscribe and comment the good things about the video and the bad things about the video in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video.